welcome back to the Hello Goddess podcast. I am your host, Mandy Diagnegree. I have this huge smile on my face because I'm so excited about this guest. Um, Today we have Laura McPhee. Hi, Laura.
Hello, thank you so much for having me.
Oh my goodness, it is an honor to have you on the show. We talked about this in the pre-interview, but like I always look up to Laura for the longest time because when I started like getting into spirituality, she was already like, you know, doing a lot of work in the world, and she actually inspired me to do this podcast. So
Thank
yeah, I'm
you.
very, very honored to have you on the show today.
That makes my heart so happy. Thank you so much. I'm so pleased to be here.
Yeah. Awesome. So Laura is a healer, speaker, and coach from New Brunswick.
Mhm.
And yes, so I would love to know, like you're doing so much beautiful work right now, and I would love to know what inspired you to go into this field.
Yeah, the short story is that I got into personal development slowly, baby steps over time for me. And then when I was like burning out in corporate accounting world, I was like, oh, I need to find happiness. Like happiness was such a goal for me, like having less stress and being happy and having a life. So I started doing receiving theta healing as a client. I started going to counseling. I started doing workshops on happiness and like being less stressed. And it was so supportive to me that then I was turning around and telling people that I was working with and friends and family members, like, oh, do you know that you can like drink half your weight in water in ounces? Like, and that makes you like feel better. And like, you can do this and you can do that. And I was just naturally sharing all these different tips and tricks and had like a happiness board at my work that people would come and like see the daily quote of happiness. Like I was just so excited to share it with the world. So then it was just like a natural next step that my soul was like, yeah, you're meant to do this. And back then, happiness coach and healer was coming through. And then a couple years later, joyful goddess came through. And I'm just so grateful that I've been able to like do this full time since 2017. Like the universe is like, hey, your work in the world is this, and like gave me the gentle nudge for me to like leap into this like reality where I've gotten to like create multiple different versions of my dream life. So it's been amazing sharing it with women in my world and men as well. And it's been unbelievable for me to receive as well.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that. And it's so funny how like well, a lot of people in this field they start off just trying to learn for themselves, and then all of a
Yes.
sudden you're like, okay, this is actually something I could do with like make a living out of this. This is something that I can share and bring value and help people. And like you say a lot too, like make an income and an impact at the same time.
Yes. Definitely.
So yeah, when I think of you, I think of joy. Like the energy that you emit is very joyful. And another energy that I get from you is abundance.
Thank
Like
you.
you really emit that. So and I think a lot of people like they hear abundance and they're like, oh, is that money? Like what like how would you define abundance?
Great question. Because abundance can typically be associated just with like the finances and the wealth. And I love working in that space, especially with my clients. Like my clients just flourish in clearing their money blocks and becoming more abundant and manifesting the clients that they want. And it can be abundance in so many other ways if you're open to receive it. And I love that we're also bringing in that like receiving energy today because it's not just can you call it in, it's can you also open your heart to receive it, have your bandwidth to receive it. So abundance can be an abundance of compliments. Can you open your capacity to receive more compliments? Can you receive more love in your life, more social impact for yourself, for like having an awesome network of humans who are in your world and like an inner circle and an outer circle? Like there's so many ways that you can be abundant. And like right now I'm traveling and pet sitting and it's incredible. So that's a form of abundance. I'm in these unbelievable spaces and it's for an exchange of taking care of their animals, which I absolutely love and nourishes my heart. So I'm like, this is incredible. Like that's super abundant. So there's definitely a big portion of it that is the receiving piece as well, so that you can like ground into I get to receive it. I'm worthy and deserving of receiving it. So there's so many different like caveats of abundance, but I would definitely say like it can be in any area of your life, especially with like health in
Mhm.
relationships, having an abundance of love, having abundance of like happiness and joy in your heart, and have done the inner work to like hold the energy of joy and to hold the, some would say, opposite energies of like sorrow and grief or anger or rage, like being able to have that abundance of bandwidth within your emotional intelligence.
Mm. Really good answer. I love that so much. And I think that
Mhm.
the way I see it as well, it's like kind of like a flow of receiving and giving, and
Mhm.
having that flow open. Because a lot of people either they kind of hoard everything and they're like, no, 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 I'm not gonna give anything because
Yeah.
they're in that scarcity energy.
Mhm.
Or they give, and they're afraid to receive. There's kind of like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of the two patterns that I
Imbalanced. Yeah.
notice of like the imbalance, abundance mindset.
Mhm.
So you briefly touched about money blocks. I'm kind of curious to see
Mhm.
like what is the most common money block that you see with your clients?
Mm. Usually it's like a ceiling of like money that they're okay with receiving or have received in the past, or they might have received, like, especially in their business, if they received more money, like they got to six figures, but then they were burning out doing it. Now their money block is a ceiling at like maybe 85K because they're like, well, I've done 85K before and I didn't burn out and didn't have to have a team and didn't have to do all those things. So now their money ceiling is there because their body is afraid that if I go back to having even more money, something bad will happen. And that can
Mm,
happen for people who have day jobs and stuff like that, who just have some type of ceiling, especially unfortunately for women, because we
right,
have the cultural story of a glass ceiling. And that you have
right.
to like break the glass ceiling and have to be in your masculine energy to like clear it out and blah, blah. And masculine energy is beautiful and lovely and has its time and place, and working in the like feminine energy of just like choosing to release it, let it go, choosing to receive more, leaning back and surrendering, and like
Mm,
feeling deeper safety in your body and deeper trust that you
hmm
get to receive. And it gets to be easier, it gets to be more pleasurable, it gets to be more enjoyable, it gets to happen without you
mm.
burning out, it gets to happen with time freedom and financial freedom. Like you can have all of these things. And that's a mixture of doing healing work and energy work, and also like the inspired action step of like calling it into your life and like showing up to meet the universe halfway.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Like inspired action. And I think
Mhm.
it's really important that people know that creating money into your life, creating abundance in your life, it's not just about the work, it's also about the inner work.
Yes.
It's like letting go of so many different limiting beliefs that we maybe picked up along the way in our lives that are not necessarily true or helpful to our situation right now, and that
Mhm.
letting go also of a lot of things that people believe about money, like money is the root of all evil, or
Yeah.
even I find like in the spiritual field and people that are entrepreneurs in the spiritual field, myself included, we
Mhm.
kind of have that belief that um, if we ask for money, we're being not spiritual, we're being greedy.
Right.
And
Right.
what would you say to somebody that's thinking that? Like, how would you challenge that thought?
So I totally hear that. And unfortunately, we have hundreds of years of cultural conditioning that if this is your like soul's work and your like gift, it should be for free. It should be for a nonprofit. It should be with a church. But like even
Mm,
in those societal structures, the priest was supported by the congregation. They had a place to live, they had food on the table, they had all of their needs met.
that's right.
Unfortunately, there's a fair amount of stories going around in the like healing service providing world that because we're just so naturally good at it, because it's helping another human who's in need, who desperately needs it, or who like really, really wants it, that we should discount our services or give it away for free because it's helping another human. And what are you going to do? See another human suffering and
Hmm
charge them a price for that? Like, I totally get those stories. And unfortunately, we're conditioned to like give and overgive. And especially again, as women, that our like labor isn't as important. It's like mothering is a free job. And it's like, that's a 24/7 for the rest of your life gig. That's so valuable to society. Yet a lot of people see it as, oh, you're just a mom or just, it's like, yeah, but you're like serving in such a big way. So I
Exactly.
understand the stories that the culture has for that. And what was actually coming through was for me to do some like healing downloads. So when it comes time for that, we can totally do downloads on like,
100%.
it's actually not greedy. You don't have to give your stuff away for free. You can
Mhm.
have your business serve and support you and have the overflow of your business go into pro bono work or scholarships or discounts or half price or whatever you're doing for the other people who need it and who might not be able to have access to you or this type of work unless there's these financial supports in place. And unfortunately, I see a lot of, especially spiritual entrepreneurs, start their business off trying to serve the people who are really needy. And then they become resentful of their business because their business isn't paying their
Mhm.
bills and they're having a hard time at
Mhm.
life. And if we look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, if your survival needs aren't met, you can't continue up that chain. So what I recommend personally for my clients, and I've done that, and I'm so grateful that like my coaches and healers were like, "Ooh, do this first." When
Yeah.
you build up your like private clients or VIP group or VIP private clients and have that as like cash flow that supports your life or has even
Mhm.
more overflow to be, ooh, you have extra at the end of the month to like save or release debt or whatever your priorities are right now, having that stream can then overflow into the other areas. Then you can feel good from that overflowing space, having a couple of people in your group who are there for free or on a scholarship
Mm.
or whatever
Mm.
you're choosing to do there.
Yeah, that makes so much
Mhm.
sense to me. That's a system that is actually helpful for the entrepreneur and also other people. And I think it's important to like you said, there's so many different layers as to why people struggle with receiving
Mhm.
abundance in their lives. And it's
Yeah.
to work with somebody that is able to kind of help you go within and let go of these layers that are not serving you anymore. And
Hmm.
then, understanding that money is not evil, money is here to support you. And even if you want to make a bigger impact, you need money. There's a lot of
Yeah.
things that you need money for, and
Hmm.
your needs, like you were saying, Maslow's pyramid, that's so important. And I see a parallel with that in the chakras as well. With the root
Hmm.
chakra is all about safety, and a lot of people kind of spiritual bypass and want to open their third eye and their
Yeah.
crown and stuff, and they're not even grounded in their bodies. And then they're
Hmm.
they're asking like, why can't I afford to live? Like, because you're not being human, you're not being here.
Hmm.
So that's fascinating to me. Like, and I'm still learning so much, and I really appreciate you explaining everything. Like, it's very helpful to understand these concepts. So,
Hmm.
I would love to learn more about theta healing, and I think that people will think it's interesting as well. So, can you share a little bit more about that?
Yes, definitely. So we were talking a little bit about like subconscious there. So depending on who you talk to, people will say that you're 90 to 95% subconscious thought and then 5 to 10% conscious. So 95% is a pretty huge amount operating our lives. And our subconscious is wonderful because right now I'm not consciously thinking how often my heart needs to beat in order for me to stay alive in this moment. Wonderful. Our subconscious is amazing at keeping us alive and it wants to keep us safe and alive. Survival is what it's great at. And yay, our subconscious has kept us alive up until this point. Woohoo! It does not necessarily care if you're thriving in life, if you're
Mm,
joyful, if your relationships are just so fulfilling and blissful and euphoric, not on its radar. So we get to upgrade that old, essentially like caveman programming to be in alignment with what we desire today because
mm,
our subconscious brain is like a really outdated computer and theta healing is awesome for like giving you the updates to be in this present moment and receive the desires of your heart, which is amazing. So theta healing goes into your theta brainwave where these subconscious limiting belief systems and stories are, and we're able to clear it from the root of where that belief system is so that all the other belief systems, all the other stories, all the other experiences that you've had can go out with it so that it's replaced with your higher power's truth. And I usually use higher
mm.
power if you want to. That can be God, creator, source energy, the universe, Mother Earth, Mother Nature, whatever your higher power name is.
Yeah.
And it's very simple. All you have to do is say yes. It's all about consent. So if a download ever doesn't feel right in your body and you need like a one-on-one practitioner to like go dig deeper on an issue, you don't have to say yes to downloads. Most people are a yes to like all group downloads I do, but that's just like a consent piece. You get to choose, yes, I want that download, and all you have to do is say yes. Some people really enjoy closing their eyes with it and like feeling in their body. That like super got me excited when I first got into theta healing, that I could like close my eyes and kind of like feel different tingles. I can feel heat or cold in different areas of my body. So some people really enjoy closing their eyes and being really present with the energy, but it's not necessary. You can be walking around and doing other things and just say yes to the downloads that we're going to offer in a bit.
Oh my God, that's so exciting. I love it so much. And I actually had a session with Laura like 10 years back. I actually won it. I was so grateful. And it's very powerful work. Like if you have never had, you can have theta healing sooner in a few minutes. And
Mhm.
it's kind of like the way I see it, like an iceberg. Like there's so much that we're not aware of. And
Mhm.
the unconscious is basically like what you don't know that you don't know. You're completely unaware, and maybe for other
Mhm.
people they can see it, but you really can't. And it's
Yeah.
rewiring that, and it's so powerful. Such a powerful method to do that. So
Mhm.
yeah, if you're open to it, we can start a session right now if you want.
Yes, definitely. So we can begin by clearing, releasing, and letting go of all the junk, negative energy, negative emotions, frequencies, thought forms, or stories that are already up for people. So if you would like that, you can say yes
Yes.
and just take some deep breaths, just starting us off with a little bit cleaner of a slate there. And you want to clear, release, and let go of any and all belief systems, stories, or cultural conditionings that you should give away your gifts for free, that you should work for free or work for a discount or a low cost because you're good at it, because someone's desperate for it, because they really need it, or fill in the blank reason, whatever that is for you. And if you'd like to clear that on all levels and resolve it on history level as well, you can say yes. And you want to clear, release, and let go of any and all identities where you need to be a martyr, you need to self-sacrifice, or other people are more important than you. Other people are more important than your financial stability or abundance, or it's selfish or greedy or bad or wrong to be financially abundant from giving your gifts in the world. And if you'd like to clear all that and instead see your higher powers, truth, wisdom, and clarity on that, so you can move forward and have abundance from your business, abundance from your work, and also have overflow in your life. If you would like that, you can say yes. And you want to clear, release, and let go of any and all belief systems that money is bad, money's evil, money corrupts, money is XYZ things that are negative in your life. We're just going to do a big umbrella sweep on that. So do you want to clear, release, and let go of any and all stories, illusions, or hallucinations that money is bad, negative, wrong? And if you'd like that, you can say yes. So like there is still the conscious piece. So I love to marry the subconscious with the conscious. So the conscious piece coming through on that is money is an amplifier. So if we are already a bad person, it's going to amplify it. It's going to become more visible to others. If you're a
Mm.
good person who has an open heart, who's heart-centered, who desires to serve other people, that gets amplified as well. Because a lot of people, if you think of people who are rich, you think of someone who's mean or bad or greedy or hurting the environment, those type of things. There's also incredible people like Oprah, who's rich and wealthy and gives and serves from that overflow. And Tony
Mhm.
Robbins, who feeds millions and millions of people with wealth. If you have $15 in the bank, can you feed millions and millions of people a year? There's that
Trigger
piece.
point. Yeah.
So money gets to amplify our stuff, all of our good stuff and all of our bad stuff. So we can like baby step it along the journey and be like, okay, I can like heal any parts that feel a little bit greedy or feel a little bit selfish along the way if that doesn't feel good for me. And that's coming up as I have more money or if I have fearful thoughts. When I have a big lump sum that comes in the bank and I don't know what to do with it, like you get to baby step along your journey of growing with it. I never want people to like shy away from wealth or more abundance because, well, who will I be once I get there and all those things? You become that person baby step over baby step over baby step over time. So knowing that you can safely grow into wealth. So do you want to know what it looks like and feels like through your higher power, who you are and who you get to be with money, with money being an amplifier in your life, and that you can allow yourself to hold more money, hold more power, and hold more influence. And if you'd like that, you can say yes. And another kind of like conscious piece to bring to our conscious awareness is that money is power in this 3D world. And isn't it an interesting story that people who want to abuse and repress people and keep them small and keep them just in survival mode, wouldn't that be an interesting story to like circulate to the masses that money is bad or money corrupts or like,
Yeah.
whereas really the people in power who are using money incorrectly or maybe not in the most healthy or the best ways for other humans or the environment or other different things that people can impact with money. Like, wouldn't that be an interesting story to circulate to make good people feel bad about money and keep them kind of repressed? So,
Mm,
isn't it super empowering when heart centered humans, light workers, coaches, and healers release that story and are like, actually, I desire to influence this world in a really positive way?
mm,
And me having a ton of savings in my savings account or investments that I can take that investment income and put towards green initiatives, projects that help people in need, mental health issues going on in the world. Like money in the hands of good people does good. So, do you want to know what it looks like and feels like to ground into that truth through your higher power that it's safe to have money, that you can trust that you will do good with money, and that you can be a good steward of money on this planet? And if you would like that, you can say yes. So how's that feeling for you? And everyone who's like listening, you can kind of like drop into your body, just notice how that's feeling. How's that feeling for you, Mandy?
mm. I definitely feel something releasing. Like I'm letting go of the ideas that are false. Like you said,
Mm,
um, and it's almost like when you said about the people that are in power that want to kind of hoard all this money, it's almost like no matter how much money they have, they still feel like they're still in this scarcity mindset, like there's not enough to go
yeah.
around, which is not
Mhm.
true. And it's so
Right.
important to look at your integrity and your values and to see like, yes, you have something to bring to the table. And
Hmm.
money, again, is an amplifier of that, is an
Yeah.
amplifier of who you are. Such a beautiful explanation. Thank you so much, Laura.
You're so welcome. It's my pleasure. And definitely I encourage everyone to like drink lots of water, especially when we're clearing up bigger things. It's important to be
Mm,
hydrated just to support our body and like releasing it as well.
yeah. Yeah, amazing. So for people that are at home listening, obviously theta healing, like you just experienced, is very powerful. Do you
Mhm.
have other small practices that people can do at home to kind of break down these limiting beliefs about abundance?
Mm. Such a good question. The first one that's coming to mind is noticing your relationship to money. So, how you were saying earlier that like money's bad or it's evil or it corrupts, like those are very common limiting belief systems around money because truly money is neutral. Money is a piece of paper that we all agreed has value because it was too hard back in the day to be like, well, I have a whole cow and I want some bricks. But the cost of that would be like the cow's foot, but then my cow's going to be dead. So, like, how do
I
we
love that.
exchange here? Like money was neutral and it was created by humans. It wasn't created by God. Humans created money. So it's interesting on your own to notice that relationship with money. So you can even like begin right now in this moment, just closing your eyes. If money was a person, what would that look like?
Mm.
And then if money was a person who looked like this, what's your current relationship with this person? So I'm curious, Mandy, what came through for you?
Hmm. Yeah, I saw myself, but my body was distorted.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like I still have ideas about money that are distorted.
Yeah.
Mm.
And unfortunately, when a lot of people do this the first time, they see slimy salesman, a greedy man, like They
Mm.
have negative images, negative pictures, and they're like, oh, well, I don't trust them. I kind of feel
Yep.
guarded or like constricted in my body, and I wouldn't want to have a good relationship with them. So over time, if you do this and like do
Yep.
some inner work with it, with whatever your favorite tools are, you can begin to have a healthier and healthier image of money first and foremost, and then a healthier relationship with it. Because ideally, we want money to be our best friend, our
Mm.
supporter, our cheerleader, our partner in life, our ally, a friend. Like having that relationship with money, you're like building with money instead of having a relationship with money where like, well, it comes and goes. I really resent it when it's not there. I get really frustrated and angry at money. And it's like money again is a neutral thing. It's a piece of
Mhm.
paper or digits on a screen nowadays,
Mhm.
where it's like truly money can be neutral and money can be anything. So wouldn't it be better to have a more loving, compassionate, best friend, supporter relationship with money? Because then it's with you, it builds with you, it supports you, it's always there for you. And that can be really interesting if you get into like the finances of your own self, your income tax, looking at like the monthly financial statements of your business. Like there's a lot of people, no judgment at all, especially in the like service-based business space, who just are heart-centered humans and are coaches and healers and practitioners who want to give. Like there's a lot of people who don't want to deal with the money stuff. But
Mhm.
if you think about that with like a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a partner, if you like didn't want to look at it for months at a time and you just ignored them for months and months and months, what would that relationship feel like with a boyfriend, a girlfriend,
Mm.
a partner? Probably not like the most healthy, thriving, healthiest relationship ever. So if you like think about that with money, you can have money
Yeah.
dates with yourself where weekly you check in with your money on a Monday or a Friday or whatever feels good for you. And if you're doing that, I also recommend doing self-care before it, after it, throughout it, especially like depending on how resistant you are to it. Can you make
Mhm.
it even 1% more pleasurable by like having music on, by
Mm.
having a
Mhm.
chocolate as a treat for like tuning into money for 15 minutes? By diffusing your favorite essential oils, by lighting a candle, by setting the mood? Can you have a date with money to check in to your finances, to your budget, or if you want to call it a different name? Sometimes budget feels limiting to people because they were, again, culturally conditioned that budgeting is restrictive and stuff like that. So you can have different names for like my abundance spreadsheet, like tuning into that, but just giving that time and space for you to connect in and check in with money and build that relationship and forgive money and heal that relationship, just like you have done with other humans in your life, to repair that relationship so you can start being closer and closer to money and money can start supporting you more and more and more.
Mm. Thank you so much. I had so many aha moments during this conversation, like, and I love the idea of a money date. This is something that I will do, and I'll keep you posted on how it goes.
Yay,
I'm gonna
awesome,
do that this
celebrating
week.
you.
I'm gonna try to heal that relationship with money for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're almost out of time. Let's go into our
Mm,
final questions. Again, thank you so much, Laura. This was really interesting. It's one of those
mm,
episodes where I'm gonna have to re-listen to it and really like integrate everything that you shared.
mm.
Um, so I'm curious to know, what is your definition of a goddess?
Mm. I love that question. And I feel like there's so many different definitions. So, whatever goddess is to you, I so honor that. And for me, it's a woman who's in her power or who's becoming more and more empowered, who's connecting with their heart and soul, their spirituality, their higher power source energy, who's curious and expanding into their feminine energy and playing with their like divine feminine goddess type energies. And also there feels like there's a sisterhood component, at least for
Mm,
me along my journey, like also
mhm.
viewing other women as sisters, as fellow goddesses, and allowing that energy to like expand and grow, similar to how like a rising tide raises all ships, that we get to like expand our goddess energy together.
Yeah, I love that. I
Mm.
love that. Thank you so much.
Mm.
And so, if you could go back in time at any point in your life and speak to your younger self, what would you say?
I feel like a lot of my previous versions, especially like 20 and below, needed to hear like life gets so much better. it gets to be so incredible. Like keep going, keep doing that like baby step in front of you, keep following your intuition. Life just expands and you can create literally anything by tuning into your heart and doing that next inspired step.
Mm. Good answer. I love that. Laura, thank you so much. I am so happy you came on the Hello Goddess podcast.
Me too.
Yes, you have so much knowledge and wisdom. I'm so excited for our listeners to be able to connect with you. I'm going to put all her links and everything in the description for Spotify and YouTube. And so people who are listening on the go, where can they find you?
Yeah, I'm on most platforms. So I'm most active on Facebook, Laura McPhee on Facebook. Please add me as a friend. I love new friends. I'm also Coach Laura McPhee on Instagram, so you can follow me there. I have a TikTok, I have all the things, so I'll give you all the links to put in for that. Um, and also, I was feeling into the like clearing money blocks energy. So I'm also feeling called to like give a 50% off for your people. So if you
Ooh.
want to do clearing money blocks, we'll also put a link in there for like 50% off. So you can like move through all that, have a healthier relationship with money, and have it at a more abundant rate.
Thank you so much, Laura. That's so beautiful of you to offer
Mhm.
that to us. I really appreciate it.
My
All right,
pleasure.
guys. Thank you so much, Laura. Thank you, everybody who's listening on the go or at home watching this video. I'm sending you guys so much love, so much light, and Reiki energy. And I will see you all next week. Bye.
Bye.